Good day to our viewers and welcome to another episode of the EThekwini Matters podcast. My name is Ednick and I will be your host for this episode. Today we are in conversation with the head of the EThekwini Water and Sanitation Unit, Mr. Ednick Msweli, who will provide us with an update on the work that his unit is currently doing. And this includes the sanitation repairs on the infrastructure that has been impacting our beaches, the process the city is following when testing the water quality and interventions to deal with water supply challenges. Sawubona baba Msweli.
Ngikhona njani nina?
Siyaphila kakhulu, siyabonga ukuba nawe namhlanje.
Ngiyathokoza nami.
The issue of water quality at our beaches has once again come up due to the December holidays coming up soon. Can you explain to us the processes that EWS undertakes to ensure that the water is safe for recreational and drinking purposes?
Greetings again to you and greetings to the viewers. I'm very sure that the residents in Durban are concerned about that.
True.
Given where we were last time, this time, last year, this time, put it that way.
Yes.
We've done a lot of work and we're going to continue doing more work. For example, one of the things we're doing is increasing the frequency of testing, water quality testing.
Yes.
So ordinarily we would be testing some of those beaches once a week, ordinarily, but now we're testing them twice a week.
Okay.
So that's to make sure if anything goes wrong, you can pick it up immediately. And we have activated our repair guys, the maintenance guys, that if anything goes wrong, they react immediately and address it. What we have started recently is even having a war room.
Yes.
There is a war room that was set up by the Minister of Water and Sanitation. We had reduced the frequency of those meetings because we thought, okay, storm disaster issues had been handled in the main.
Yeah.
But now with the festive season approaching, we've decided to actually reactivate that war room. It will now meet every week again, as it was doing before. And the sole purpose of that is to monitor these beaches, monitor the water quality, discuss the results that we get, and more than that, actually monitor our reaction to the results. Because what it requires most of the time is either you go and repair the pumps, because some pump has failed. So I am tracking that personally. I actually chair that war room. We've just had a very good meeting last week Friday at 7:30. That's the time we're actually having those meetings.
Yes.
So we're getting up early to attend to this matter because it's important for us.
Yes.
So we were able to identify a number of pump stations that impact on the beaches.
Yeah.
And we had to go through each one. It's a very painful process because you have to go
it
through
has to be done.
each pump station and say, what is happening here? What is happening there?
Yes.
The purpose of that is that given the time that we still have left, is that we address everything that needs to be addressed to give our residents the assurance that they are not going to have the same problem. So we are on top of it, I believe, and I really don't anticipate any problems. Yes.
And where are we testing our water quality?
We have an accredited lab in the municipality. I think we're probably one of few, if any other, I can't think of any other, maybe other metros might have, I'm not sure, that has its own accredited lab. So our results can be trusted. Yeah, it's accredited. So we take our samples to our lab in Pinetown and we test them there. What you get there is good. So if those results say the water is clean, I can assure you it is clean. But what we've started doing lately, just also to manage perceptions.
Yes.
So some people say, hey, it's your own lab. Maybe you're cheating, so to speak. So we've partnered with some of the private companies.
Yes,
I think it's
Talbot.
Talbot in particular. And they've been very kind and they've agreed to work with us in that we can now sample at the same time at the same spot so that then our results can be compared. And I looked at the last set of results that we got. They were very comparable. So I have even more confidence that our results are good. In one of the cases that I saw, even our results were actually better than theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, and then there are other cases where the opposite was also true. But we were within range. We were very much within range, and we were very happy about that. So we'd like to continue working with them, and even educational institutions of higher learning, we really want them to come on board, work with us. Yes, but we've got nothing to hide. We want our residents to know the truth. Yes, and we don't hesitate. You'll be aware that if there is a problem with the quality, through our PRC, Parks and Recreation Unit, we immediately closed the beaches. You would rather deal with that problem than expose our people to ill health, so to speak.
Mr. Msweli, please can you give us a progress report on the repairs that have been done on the sanitation infrastructure that has been impacting on our beaches?
Thank you for that. That's been a mammoth task to deal with those repairs. And the reason I say that is because of the processes that are involved when you have to do any work, especially in government. You've got to make sure you comply with your procurement processes. So for us, a lot of time obviously was taken up doing that. So that's now behind us. All of those processes are concluded. And you'll also be aware that we got a grant from national government to deal with the storm damages. So that grant came in 2 tranches. Right. So for sanitation specifically, the first tranche was 49 million. That we needed to spend by, I think it was by March. And then we asked for an extension, and we were given an extension to June. So that was granted. So that tranche has been spent. So what that means is that that work that needed to be done, the storm disaster repairs that needed to be done with that funding, have been done, most of them. But the truth of the matter is that the funding that we received as a grant was not enough to actually do all the work. So council, in fact, we spent a lot of council money adding to the grants that were given to us. So whatever scope of work needed to be done under the first tranche is done. So those repairs are done. Then we got the second tranche, which is in total for water and sanitation about 228 million, but that's inclusive of water. So of that, about 112 million is for sanitation. Again, we've dealt with the procurement processes. We have now just finalized them. Now in November, we are starting on the ground, and we're going to work very fast. Because the advantage that we have is that some of the projects are not big. So it's projects, it's a lot of them, about 100 or 200, I don't know the actual number right now, but it's projects that you can do fairly quickly. So I'm happy that we have the service providers appointed. We're good to go.
Mr. Msweli, communities including Umlazi, Ntuzuma, Folweni continue to have challenges with water supply. Please take us through what the city has in place to ensure that we assist these communities.
There are many plans, some long-term and some short-term. And I'm sure the communities there really don't care much about the long-term because they want water in their taps now. So what we're going to do in the next 10 years maybe doesn't matter much to them. But from our point of view, obviously we have to plan that way. If I take Ntuzuma, for example, in the long term, if I might start with that, you need the Umkomazi Dam. There's been a lot of talk about the Umkomazi Dam because that dam will give you more water so that you can then supply people of Ntuzuma and they never run out of water. Not only them, there are many other parts of the cities as well that are also dependent on that dam. But until then, obviously we have to do something in the short term. And in the short term is we have to go to one of the pump stations there. It's called NR2. This is the main pump station, sort of an entry gate to Ntuzuma. So you supply through that pump station. According to the plans, the long-term plans, you actually don't require pump stations in Ntuzuma because the water is supposed to be coming from the Western Aqueduct, Western Aqueduct being fed by Umkomazi Dam. That was the plan. Umkomazi Dam, Western Aqueduct, and then water will be gravity fed to all those areas. So the idea was you need to decommission all these pump stations. You don't require them. But given the time that it's going to take to actually get the Umkomazi Dam commissioned, because it's not going to be any shorter than 8 years, and people cannot live without water for 8 years. We had to go back to the drawing board and say, go back and refurbish those pump stations. So the city is spending a lot of money, for example, fixing this NR2 pump station so that it works, and you continue to use supply from Durban Heights Waterworks to supply Ntuzuma, which then requires this multi-stage pumping. So we are busy with that work now. In the case of Ntuzuma. So as soon as we are done with that, things should improve in Ntuzuma. But I think we should just bear in mind that when we want the problem to go away completely, we will need the dam. But the pump station will bring some relief.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of a short to medium term relief for the 8 years.
Yes.
While we're busy with the dam.
With the dam,
Yeah. It's a similar thing with Umlazi. In Umlazi, you do need more water overall for the city. Yeah, because where we are now, we've been told by the department that we are over abstracting from the Umgeni system. Umgeni system is where we get our water from. So we've been told we have to reduce by about 10%, which is close to 100 megaliters a day. So
Wow,
it's going to be,
a lot.
it's less water available for all of us. So we've got to use water more sparingly now, fix leaks from our side quicker, save the water that's available.
Yeah.
Right. So for Umlazi, you need a pipeline called Southern Aqueduct. It's a very expensive project. It's about 24 kilometers of 2 pipelines running parallel that need to be fixed. The estimate at the moment is that it will cost not less than R1 billion to do that. Obviously, it's a lot of money for the city. The city has many priorities. To just take R1 billion and say, okay, I'll put it into this one project is not easy. But I'm grateful for the leadership of the city that when I presented this problem to them, they've bought into it and they see it as a priority that we actually need to fix those 2 pipelines. So that's what we are busy with now. The tender processes are being finalized to appoint the contractor. And I think maybe in January next year we will start with construction of that pipeline. So once that pipeline is fixed, that will resolve your problems in Umlazi. So there are many similar projects like that. Lately, I think you'll be aware that we've been going around with the mayor commissioning some projects. We were in Shongweni not long ago, new reservoir constructed there. That's to help the areas that are supplied from that side, from Georgedale to Shongweni. So all food will end up benefiting and areas downstream. But there are also other projects we still need to do there. Another pipeline, for example, to help food that we need to do. So what we have decided to do there is actually change the strategy, procurement strategy. We were going to outsource that project. It's about an 11 million rand project. And I just made a decision that given this agency that you are talking about, that people need water now, that we actually don't outsource it, we do it in-house. So all that needs to happen now is I need to do the budget adjustment, make their money available, and then my teams will be on the ground to start with that particular project. So there are many others like that. Following will benefit. There is a booster pump station. It's called a booster pump station that was constructed by Umgeni Water in Bombulu. It's supposed to be supplied from that side. So we're going to pursue that work that Umgeni Water is doing on their side, because that should have helped following. So that pump station is complete, but I think we're not yet getting the volumes that we need. But there are many, again, other projects that will benefit following that we are doing. Even that Southern Aqueduct that I was talking about, once it's completed, because it's currently they are fed from Umlazi, so it will obviously assist them as well. Yeah, so there are many interventions.
You are hard at work.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this EThekwini Matters podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share across our social media platforms. Thanks.